Okay, that was good, and it was absolutely a learning process. Those pieces are about 30 inches by about 17 and a half. I had mixed up in these drinking cups. I had filled it to the bottom line here in both cups, which turned out to be about a quarter of each of these containers that you get in the kit. So I'm thinking that this will need another coat. I'm also thinking that it looks pretty decent the way it is. Bubbles doesn't seem to be much of an issue. I mean, I guess there is some bubbles in there. They say you can heat this and it will help to get rid of the bubbles. So suppose we could give it a little bit of a I don't want to use the wrong phrase here and get in trouble on YouTube. We could blow it with a heat gun a little. And that, I did see some of those bubbles disappear there, so that was good. So I'm going to consider this a sealer coat, which it talked about, you know, putting a thin coat on there. I thought I was going to have too much. I actually had too little, but I think that sealed this pretty well. It does have that glassy look on it, but it also has some areas that doesn't have that look. But what I will do is I'll let this sit as I'm instructed to do. You're supposed to let this sit 4 or 5 hours after you do that. And then I'll come back to it. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do the same thing on this one. And then I have one over there by the refrigerator. So that's going to take about 3/4 of what I have in one of these kits. And this stuff is about, well, that's $22 for that kit there. And I'm going to wind up putting 2 coats on that, which is going to mean I'm going to use up like 1.5 kits doing these 3 pieces. And then what I have left over, I'm going to try, I dolloped a little bit on this kitchen in here. I wanted this section back here to have some sort of similar coating. However, you're not supposed to put that stuff on vertically, but I thought, well, maybe if I stick it on here, and I did with that little brush, but you can see it didn't do much. So I might have some good old-fashioned varnish. In fact, I know I do, because I did this gun with some good old-fashioned varnish, and it's nice and shiny. What I might do is get me some of that good old-fashioned varnish. I've tried a new varnish, and it didn't seem like it did much there. But it might need a few coats too. So what I may do with this is varnish it. And I'll do... Oh, the other thing I was going to do is this tabletop here, which I'm guessing if I use up like 1.5 of those containers doing those 3 pieces, then I'll have 1/2 a container left to do this with. And this one is pretty smooth, so I'll give it a good sand down. I can also lift this, I can take this top off of this thing, and we are going to be refinishing the sides of this, so I can save that for when I do it. I think what I'm going to do now is go get me some more of those cups. I only found these here. I think I'd like to have some more of those. And I may try picking this piece up and putting that little stool back under it. Just so it doesn't wind up gluing itself to that plastic. I got me some little plastic gloves here that I use with the black tank in the RV, and I've been using them quite a lot for projects like this where I don't really want to stick my fingers in some of this stuff. So they say you can wash this with acetone and/or thinner while it's still wet. I prefer not to get any of it on my fingers in the first place, so I don't have to worry about that. That would be my preference. What I might do on this next one too is just to mix a bit more in the first batch, because if I had a little bit more, I could have, I believe, coated this entire thing. It wouldn't have been, it would have been fine. I believe so. Let's pick this up without Yep. All right. So I'm going to the store and get some more cups, and I'll be back in a jiff.